I don't know. Because
Okay,
it
if
was
you
a block there.
no worries. If you don't have a reason for it, don't add it.
Oh, okay. Not a
Okay.
problem.
So now go ahead and click
Leave
save.
it alone.
Just leave it
Okay.
just like that. Click save. So now
Okay.
that button will work. That'll be when somebody buys and they get the tag and go high level, they'll be able to see the button on their dashboard if they're VIP. You have that set up correctly from Obvio's perspective.
Okay.
Now, a backdoor link is meant for people who, for some reason, their account wasn't tagged, or maybe they bought the event ticket with blue at bluemelnick.com, but then when they upgraded to VIP, for some bizarre reason, they used blue at poweredbysage.com. And blue at poweredbysage.com isn't an attendee, even though they're now a VIP, right? Like multiple emails could cause that problem. So those are reasons why you may want a backdoor link.
The
So
main reason I need a backdoor link is for the VA that's going to be helping us.
okay, so go to Zoom areas, and we don't want to give that person access to Obvio. We just want them to be able to get straight into Zoom. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't want to give them access to Obvio.
All right, so go to Zoom areas, go to VIP lounge, and on the one next to where it says number one on the right-hand side, the room number one, left-hand side, yeah, yeah, left, left. Sorry, I'm directionally dyslexic. That one right there.
Click on it.
Yes. And then where it says enable direct access, open that, and there's your
And
link.
this is the link.
Yep.
Fabulous. Let me save it real fast before I do anything else.
And that, in order for that link to work, the room has to be open first. They
Right.
can't open
Got
the
that.
room with that link. They can join the room if it's opened.
Not a problem. I just need to save it before I lose it.
Cool.
Okay, and this one is for the VIP lounge. P. Okay, love it.
Awesome.
Got that one.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You want to stop
So I
sharing?
need to do enable.
Yep.
Okay,
Just
I need to
enable and
click
then,
on one,
yeah,
enable, and then get the link.
you
Okay,
got
got
it.
it.
That's it. Nice and easy.
And that's okay?
That's it.
Okay, go back to there. And the main stage is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I
If you
would
want a
need
backdoor
to,
link for your main stage, you do the same thing. You go into room number one and enable the direct access and copy that link. They're going to look the same. They are not.
okay,
Okay, that code at the end of it is
a
different.
little bit different. Yes, sir.
It's enough different
This
that
is
they are very different. One
end
character is enough for it
stage.
to be completely different.
Okay, not a problem.
Cool.
Okay, got the main stage, got that one. Okay, and then refine. So I need to make a third room. We decided at the end of our meeting this morning, I need to make a third room. And this one is when we do the welcome celebration. See, we hadn't thought all the way through, but now going through all the housekeeping and all the PAG.
Yep.
So I need to make a third room, yeah, that's only for the people who come in, and it'll be called Refine. And yeah, so we haven't done this, but when I do that, I open it, I click on one, I enable. I get this, and this is for the refine. This is after they pay for actually getting into the program.
Hmm.
Oh man, Blue, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then you probably have to replicate the same thing that you did with the VIP lounge button on the dashboard. You need to create a button. You don't need to, but I would create a button that links to the welcome celebration area.
Well, I was just playing around with it. This is going to be it, but I don't
Sure.
like it. I was just playing around with it, but it's going to be this one.
Yep,
I'll change what it looks like,
that's
but the
fine.
rules.
And then the rules you need to apply, like tags include, and then whatever the tag is going to be for people who purchase the program.
So this is some kind of a tag, yeah, that we
Yes, and
need to get
it's
from Go
it's a
High Level.
Correct. It's a tag you define in Go High Level.
Okay. So this we'll do later. I'm just going to save it for now so I know what I have to do there.
No worries.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I put something in the value, put tag to be defined or something like where it says value, just put tag coming soon.
Value.
Run
Where
down.
did,
Right, a little bit, just a tiny bit down. Up.
oh,
There.
this one.
Yep. And then
Tag.
click that blue save button.
Okay. Tag from Go High Level, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then save.
And then save again.
And then save again.
Yep.
Okay. So I need to get the tag from Go High Level. Okay. Question. It was having to do with, yeah, we got the celebration link, the go. Okay. I think that's all it was, Blue. I
Okay.
just knew that if I went doing, I was going to take effing a long time. And if you helped me, it would go fast. So it was worth coming here. Okay. Thank you, sir.
No worries. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Okay. Since nobody has questions, I'm going to ask some more. So just help me in my head. Okay. So for sure, when they go to Passion Profit, I think Justin helped me before to make sure that when they get the email and it comes back to Obvio, when they get that email, we'll have the magic link for Passion Profit, our event, right? And then when they get VIP and they buy that, then they get another magic link. No, no, no. They don't need another magic link, right? It'll just open up the button on their dashboard, right?
Say that second part one more time.
When people buy VIP, do we need a funnel for a pass? Do we just need the button on the dashboard, or do we also need a funnel to have an email for the another magic link? No, right? Only the button on the dashboard, right?
Well, I think you're going to have a funnel because if they're buying VIP, they're doing that through a funnel.
Okay, and they get that email, but
Yeah.
that email doesn't need a magic link, right?
I mean, there's no reason to not include the magic link for the
Okay.
event in every email that you send out
Oh,
about the event,
gotcha. But
right?
it's the first magic link, right? They don't get other
Not a
ones.
new, correct. It's not a new one. It's the same magic. If they were already an attendee, it's the same magic link. So, and here's the thing, just in general, every email communication that you send out about your live event to tell them, like, on day one, come join us. On day two, come join us. On day three, come join us. Every single one of those emails should include the magic link. The magic link never changes, but you always want to remind them, like, don't say, hey, come join us, go find your magic link and get on the dashboard, right? Because
Gotcha.
then they're going to be like, well, where's the magic link? Well, I got to look for an old email that maybe I have it, maybe I don't. Just always include it.
So anything that changes will only change on their dashboard. That's
Yeah,
the only place I need to make sure that things show up and don't show up according
yeah,
to what they buy, including the refine. So
you
the
got it.
same thing for the VIP happens with refine. It's just the next level. One is the event, the next one's VIP, and the next one's our actual program.
You got it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries.
And congratulations on your citizenship.
Oh, thanks. I go tomorrow morning. 11 a.m. I go for my oath ceremony. Good times. So, does anybody else have any other questions? Because if you don't, I'm gonna give Christy just a quick overview of what Obvio is as at a, you know, big picture. So, Christy, you can go through the onboarding program. It will 100% do you well. There's nothing in it that's wrong. It is a little older, so some of the UI, some of the elements may look a little bit different, but functionally it's all very much the same. Okay. The other thing that I'll say to you is it's 8 lessons. I believe is it 8 lessons or I think it's 8. And those 8 lessons are each 2 hours long. So it feels like a lot of content, 16 hours. One of the things that I want to just kind of preface is it's actually half that because at least half of every call was Q&A. Okay, so keep that in mind. So what I'm going to say just at a super overarching level, let me explain what Obvio is and let me explain what Obvio is not, because I think that'll be helpful for you. Obvio is a tool that allows you to create a website that your attendees come into to access Zoom. I call it, and this is a little bit nerdy, so I probably shouldn't do it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I call it a short-term membership site specifically for your live event because access to that website is secure. They need to log in or click what Kat's talking about, the magic link that you can send them as a result of registering them inside of Obvio. Okay. So high level, Obvio, we call them dashboards. So if you ever hear us talk about an Obvio dashboard is that short-term membership site that is just for your live event. And I call it short-term because they have very little life or value beyond the event, right? My guess is you came to a bunch this TVE wasn't your first, right? You'd been to a couple? Was this your first? Okay. So some people, well, let me ask it to you this way. Have you been back to the TVE website dashboard since you left the event?
Yes.
You have. You're going to be like one of five. Most
Oh,
people, most people don't go back to the TVE dashboard because there's nothing like after the event is over, there's not much there, right?
there's a lot there. Maybe I'm not at the right dashboard.
Well, no, don't go to the wrong dashboard. So what I'm talking about specifically, just so you and I are on the same page. Give me a second, I'll show it to you. That's TVE 8. Let's not go to that one. Let's go to TVE 10. So what I'm talking about specifically is the website that looks like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I mean, sure, there's 50 ways. There's a couple of recordings, but outside of that, it's a welcome note and some downloads, like your fillable worksheets. So there is some stuff on it, but what I'll say to you is most people at the end of the event, they rarely go back to it. So that's why I consider, even though they continue to live, like you can access it still today. In fact, you could probably go back to like the TVE 3. I don't think you can go back to 2 or 1, but you can probably, if you had the link, you could go back to TVE 3 because I don't turn off the dashboards because I know nobody accesses them, so I don't bother. It's just a step I don't need to do. So from there, Obvio also includes access to a limited number of Zoom accounts for your events. When I say limited, as a Leap member, you have access to run up to 5 simultaneous Zoom rooms. You're not likely to ever need that. Okay, even 5 is like you'll use one, you'll be happy. It'll be awesome. So, with that being said, sorry, I have a dog that is whining, and I'm trying to decide if that's the big dog or the little dog. And I think if it's the little dog, I have to take her out. If it's the big dog, I can ignore her. And I think it's the big dog. So fingers crossed that I'm not going to walk back to a puddle. Okay. So you get access to Zoom for a limited number of meetings. You can run up to 3 meetings simultaneously. Those Zoom meetings are configured for you exactly how we think virtual events and Zoom meetings should be configured. So you don't have to worry about any of it. All you have to do is set up the dashboard, set up the event. Now, Obvio has multiple structures within it, hierarchy. You have your account. Your account has organizations or businesses that you potentially would run events for. And then those organizations can have events. And then your attendees access each event individually. And just because they have access to one event doesn't mean they have access to others, right? Each event lives as its own entity as it relates to our clients, as it relates to our attendees. Making sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So when you log into Obvio for the first time, you're going to see a page that looks, I'm going to say it looks kind of like this, but without all of these squares, right? It's just going to say you don't have it, or actually it'll say Christy Christie's organization. In fact, have you logged into Obvio already?
No, I have not.
Okay. Um, So when you do, it'll say basically your first name and last name and organization. My account looks way different because I have access to a lot more, of course. So in your case, you'll just have one tile right here and it'll say Christy Christie's organization and you'll click on it. Now, when you click on it, I'm going to create a new organization just so that you see what I'm talking about. When you click on that organization, it's going to look something like this. It's not going to have any events in it. It's just going to say Christy Christie's organization, top right, the word events, and no events have been created. So you have an open and empty account. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a new event. And I would do this and start playing around with it. There's no harm in having an event that is like your test event, right? In fact, I'm just going to call this test event, and then I'm going to call it test November 19th, 2026. Okay. And I'm going to select a time zone. In my case, I'm going to select New York. In your case, you're probably going to select Los Angeles. And I'm just going to leave the dates as is because that doesn't matter all that much and put that I'm expecting 100 attendees. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to click create from here. Now, you can put a default password in. You can add a fav icon, logo icon if you have one. You can add an event logo if you have one. All of that stuff at this stage, though, is optional. So to keep your life easy, just click create. Now, once you do that, it's going to log into your event for the first time. In my case, it says test event, and it's going to ask you to pick a template. And this is an important step because our dashboards are based on one of 6 templates that you have access to. And you can look at them by clicking on View Sample Dashboard, and that will show you what the dashboard looks like with sample data. Okay?
Got it. Mhm.
And you can look at all 6 of them. Now, I'll tell you the easiest ones to set up as a starting point are going to be classic and cards. Why are they called that? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into it. If you're curious which template the virtual event on virtual events is based on, it's based on this town hall template right here. So you'll notice some similarities between this and the virtual event on virtual events.
Mhm.
Right? So it's the same template, but it's just branded very much to our event rather than here.
Got it.
So to pick an event template, and you can change the event template afterwards, but it's not easy and I wouldn't recommend it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and pick the cards template. And you have 2 options. You can start with empty data, like an empty template that's blank. Or what I like to do when I'm teaching somebody who's just getting started, I say start with the demo sample data because that at least gives you something to work with. Whereas when you start with an empty template, you're really starting from scratch. So I'm going to click Start with Demo Sample Data and click Select. That's going to open up my event. And now if I go straight to Design and the dashboard, It's going to look like the demo data. It's going to include all of the information that that sample dashboard had. Okay. And this is kind of your starting point. You've now created your first event, you've selected the template, and I would start by playing around with the dashboard and customizing that dashboard. That's where I would start. I wouldn't go very much further into that. I would click on things and see what they do. Anywhere that you see, when you hover over an element and you see a little white gear, that opens up a slide out and it gives you the ability to make a bunch of changes, right? So I've got my Obvio logo. If I go to styling, there's two tabs up here. If I go to styling, there's some other things here. The opacity is set to 0. If I increase the opacity there, I get a little header background. I can change the header background to be a different color if I want to. I can change the icon of the menu to be a different color. Um, so there's a few things that I can play around with um, in this particular gear. But then there's other gears like edit the welcome message. If I wanted to change that, I could. If I wanted to change the color of that text, I could do that, right? So there's a lot of things that you can just play around with and start messing and see what happens. See how ugly you can make it as a starting point, right? Again, if I hover over this main stage, I see another gear. If I click on that, you're going to see three different tabs, all of which have different elements that you can modify based on the type of thing that you're modifying, right? So the button styling is different than if I were to go to a blog post and look at the blog post panel, right? That it looks different because blog posts are different than buttons. If I were to hover over this agenda item and click the gear, again, same thing, different things in place. So that's where I would start, and I would start just messing around with it. You can't break anything, right? And if you do, you can delete the event and create a new one. There's no harm, no foul.
Well, I must have broken something with the event builder.
That's its own problem.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. So it's totally separate from my own Zoom account.
It is.
Okay,
Yep, you don't use your own. I mean, you can technically use your own Zoom account, but I would not. There's no reason for it.
they're not connected. Okay,
Nope.
great. Thank you.
You're most welcome. All right. David, what's your question?
Hey, Blue, was that town hall that you folks used for Tony and Dean's AI summit? Was that
Um,
a modification of town hall?
that is a great question. Let's take a look. Um, I actually don't know the answer to that question.
But you'll know it when you see it,
Well, I'll know it
probably.
when I see it because I'm logging into the account and I'm looking at it. So yes, I will absolutely know it when I see it. No, they used cards.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That's the one that they generally use. So when you asked, I was like, I don't think so, but who knows, maybe. But they keep it pretty simple also, right? So here, let me show you. That's that's what the AI, that's what the summit looked like. So yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions today? Or do I get to go walk my dogs before the sun goes down?
Another quick question. Who is in the painting behind you?
Nobody knows. So what I will tell you is Barry and I, this house, with it being a historic home, um, we've been asked a couple of times to be on the Charleston Historic Foundation's Home and Garden Tour. and for a number of reasons have said yes when asked. And they always ask us about different elements of the home so that they can tell people who are touring the house a little bit about it. And I usually joke with people and tell them um, that is Barry's great 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 grandfather on her mother's side. He was an admiral in the Navy. His name is actually Barnabas, so that's Admiral Barnabas. And the reality is, it's just a painting that we saw when we were looking for furniture at a place in New York. It was sitting behind a whole bunch of things. We saw the frame and we saw it and we're like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. And it was on sale for like 90% off or something like that. And we were like, who is it? And they didn't know, and we don't know. I have Google image searched it. Like, I really have tried to figure out who it is. And like the closest person that it kind of looks like is one of the like a king of England. Um, that I'm forgetting which one, but it's not like it's not quite right. So, once a year I pull out Google Lens and I try and figure out one more time who Admiral Barnabas really is. But I don't know. Hey, Kevin.
Hello, how you doing, bro?
Good. How are you?
All right.
Any questions today, or are you just hanging out?
Yeah, I was gonna, if nobody have a question, I got one.
Shoot.
Um, so how do you how do you bring a person from the green room and then bring them to the main stage? I'm still having some difficulties understanding how to do that.
So let me ask you a couple clarifying questions because that
Okay,
is a question that is potentially a mile deep, or
okay,
a mile wide. It could go a couple different ways. So when you say that, do you generally bring we're talking about guest speakers in this particular case, generally, right?
that's correct.
And are these guest speakers, when they do wind up on the main stage, are they in the same Zoom room as your attendees, or are they in another Zoom room and you're using some hardware to bring their video into the main Zoom room?
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to really figure all the things out. Currently, I'm using ITS inside the show in OBS to bring these people separate onto a little system that they have, and then bring everybody else so I can have them all around. And I want OBS Obvio to be the main stage. So I'm trying to figure out how do I bring them into a green room so I can check them all in and then bring them to the main stage and then have everybody else, just around them. If that makes any sense.
It does ish, and I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with In the Show.
Okay.
Give me a quick rundown. What is it?
Um, it's a they're it's a show that help presenters. If I was a presenter and I wanted to do let me see if I can do something quick. If I want to like add effects, it's cheesy probably. If I want to add effects to my show or to the person who's talking, is it even working now? Ah, it's not even working now. There you go. That should tell you something right there. Still trying to work out the mechanics of everything, but it is one where I can. It is not working right because I need to have Maestro. I would need to be in the show. I would need to have Maestro as a backstage participant that allow me to do what you see with the little symbols around.
Got it. Okay, so here's the basics. Regardless of whether or not you're bringing them onto the actual Zoom stage where your attendees are, or
Mm-hmm.
you're using a separate Zoom line so that the speakers are not bothered by attendees, and you're then taking the video from that computer and bringing it into a video switcher and than pushing it into the main Zoom room. Regardless of which way you're doing it, the answer is actually probably the same. A green room is, in the context of how we use it and how, and I learned this from Grant, a green room is essentially, as it relates to speakers, a breakout, a Zoom breakout room.
Right.
So what you would do is, and the exact funnel, like how you bring them through the breakout rooms, would change depending on how you're set up. So if you're just going to bring them into your speakers into the main stage, the main Zoom room, all your attendees and your guest speakers are going to be in the same Zoom room, then in that Zoom room, you would create one breakout room and you would assign nobody to it. And then when your speaker showed up, you would then move that speaker into the breakout room. And then you, on another computer, not your show computer, would go into the meeting and jump into the breakout room and have a conversation. Because Zoom breakout rooms act as meetings within the meeting, essentially. You have that conversation with your guest speaker, make sure their mic is exactly where they're supposed to be, everything's good. And now you take that guest speaker and put them back into the main session. You close down your breakout rooms. When he's ready to talk, you unmute him, he talks or she talks, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Make sense?
So yeah, it makes sense. So I have a separate breakout room, and I'm bringing them in. But when they come in, do they come in automatically to the breakout room, or do they
No,
come
they come
into the
into the
main
main
show?
stage.
So they come into the main stage first, and then I put them into the breakout room
Mm-hmm.
and do
Yep.
the tech check. See, I was thinking it was backwards. I was thinking that I need to have something. I just had it backwards. I thought I needed to bring them into the breakout room or
I mean,
whatever
it
tech
would
check,
be great if we
and
could
then
get
bring
them
them
into,
onto the main
yeah,
stage.
it would
Yes.
be nice if we could get them into the breakout room first, but with Zoom meeting in the capacity that we're talking about in using a single Zoom room, that's how you would do it. Now, let just to make things a tiny bit more complicated, okay? So in our studio in here in Charleston, and this I know Grant does the same thing, and a lot of the other studios around do the same thing.
Mhm.
Guest speakers usually don't talk to attendees from the main attendee Zoom room. They talk to them from a separate Zoom room. And then we wire in that Zoom computer into our video switcher and our audio mixer, and we cut to them instead of our camera feed, and then feed their video and audio from this Zoom over here into the main stage as the main camera, right? That's what we do. Now, in that scenario, it is reversed because we use the main room for that speaker line as the tech check room or green room. And then we have a breakout room called the main stage, which is where we transmit our video from into the main stage. And then once we do our tech check, we move them into the main stage room. And now when they unmute, we cut to their video feed through our switcher, we unmute their audio through our audio mixer and do it that way. So it's the basic process in both cases fundamentally is the same. You're using Zoom breakout rooms,
Mhm.
but understanding where the audio and video is coming from to get to your attendees is critically important and changes the route.
Thank you. It is difficult. Yes, I am trying to work through those issues now. I think I have some of it down. The system that the one system I'm using, I have this ATEM um, ISO Extreme that I can bring in how many ever guests, and I was using what is it called? A breakout box for the Black Magic box that had I could bring in 4 feet of people through a separate Zoom. Um, oh, I can't even think of the name of it now. It is well. Anyway, I'm not even using that anymore. It's been incorporated into Zoom. So I'm using something different now, and I'm really figuring out that to make sure that I can deal with the latency issues with the audio and making sure I get a real clean video.
Yeah, that makes sense. awesome.
I just want, like I said, that's what my question was, which do I do first? So I'm bringing them in the main meeting, then into a breakout room, tech check there, then bring them back into the main stage.
Yeah, it really, like I said, it just depends on how they're talking. And if they're talking from the main stage, then they land on the main stage, you pull them out of the main stage into a breakout room, do your tech check, and then put them back. If they're talking from a speaker line that's separate from the main stage Zoom room, you bring them into the main speaker line, that's essentially the green room, and then you put them into a breakout room that is the main stage and take the video and audio from that breakout room and bring it into your switcher, whether it's the 8M Mini or something else like it, and pull that audio and video in as a camera and audio source and feed that into your primary Zoom computer where your attendees live. That's,
But as it stands, I'm sorry, but as it stands, I would need a separate computer for the breakout room in that session where I can communicate with them there.
yeah, I mean, listen, it doesn't need to be a computer, it can be an iPad, but you need another
Well,
device.
that's not, that's a separate system that I
A
can
separate
use to do that
device, yeah.
transfer.
And it doesn't
Okay.
need to, like, here's the cool thing about that. They don't even have to be local. Like, this can be somebody who is around the world somewhere else doing these tests for you, like doing that work for you. Like, it's not rocket surgery.
Okay. All right.
All
That's
right,
what I'm going to be. That's what I'm working on. Thank you.
cool. You're welcome. Nancy, what's your question?
Hi, I'm working on Obvio and I also have been working on Obi,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering when the two come together. I'm still very new at all this.
Yeah, no worries. The two
And
are separate systems that don't really talk to each
right.
other.
So,
So,
how do I then, merge what I'm doing with Obi to then work with Obvio? I'm starting to play around with Obvio a lot.
yeah. So what Obi is doing for you is really in the end helping you with messaging and helping you with text-based content. So
Okay.
once you have your, let's say your sales page as an example done, what you would do is you would copy it and paste it into Obvio. It's a little janky, but that's the process.
Is that then, what are the scripts in Obvio underneath the design? I went ahead to that
That is
page and
not, that is a technical term. That's JavaScript. That's not actual
oh,
talking scripts.
oh, okay. And so it says no scripts have been added. What kind of scripts get put in there?
If you're asking the question, none.
Okay.
Yeah. But generally speaking, the types of scripts that would go in there would be like a Facebook ads pixel, a Google, like a Google Tag Manager pixel, um, Google Analytics code would go in there. A third party support chat system widget could potentially be added via scripts in that way.
Okay.
There's a few things that could go there, but generally speaking, uh, my guess is if you're asking the question the way you are, in your case, probably not much. I will tell you on our event for the virtual event on virtual events, there were no scripts there.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So I'm taking my stuff from Obi and then just pasting it in there. It might be a little ugly, but I'm just seeing how it all plays out.
exactly. And then you start formatting it and making it look pretty and obvious.
And
Or
then how
click
do I tell?
funnels or go high level or whatever the tool is that you're going to build your sales page in.
So do I find some people to help test it with me? Is that how it works? To say be my guinea pig here?
I don't think that's a horrible idea.
Okay. I mean, is that what people do?
They do, yeah. It's
Yeah.
really not uncommon to do that. Now, sometimes it's like, hey, line up a bunch of kids and have them test with you.
Yeah.
And it's not uncommon for people to actually post in Leap and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. If somebody would be willing to spare, like I need to test out that everything's working. If anybody's willing to spare 30 minutes, I'd really appreciate it. And of course, return the favor when needed. So
Okay. Well, that's it for now.
awesome.
Thanks.
You're most welcome. All right, guys. Well, listen, if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to hope that my pups have not used the restroom unnecessarily, and I'm going to go take them for a walk. For those of you who are in LEAP, remember we have open office hours on Friday. And then, of course, next week, um, we will be back at 5 p.m. Eastern for any Obvio related questions that you have. All right, guys. Nancy, good to see you. David, good to hear you.
Blue. Good to see you in Admirable Barnabas.
Yes. Yes, the Admiral.
And best wishes on your ceremony
Oh, thank you so much.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
excited.
yes.
I'm,
My
I'm,
father
I'm
did
debating.
that.
I'm debating whether or not I'm going to wrap an American flag around me for it.
My father welcomed many new citizens into the country as a volunteer thing he did for years. So very
It's
exciting. He always came home motivated.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It'll be a good time. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern. Just start thinking. Just send me good vibes.
It would
All
be
right.
interesting to see if they would accept it if you were wrapped in a Canadian flag, but it's probably not a good uh,
So
administration to run that experiment.
you don't think I should wear my Roots sweater that says Canada on it? I don't think that's a good idea. You're probably not
Or
wrong.
your Rush concert t-shirt.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. All
All
right,
right.
everybody. Well, yeah, no kidding. So, all right. Well, listen. Have an awesome rest of your day and awesome rest of your week. We'll talk to you guys on Friday.
Okay. Best to
Thanks.
Barry.